What if I told you your body already has a built-in peace switch? Not a pill, not a program, not something you have to earn or achieve. A system woven into your biology at the moment of creation, designed to slow your heart, calm your mind, restore your gut, heal your cells, and bring you into a state of profound, measurable peace. What if you've just never been taught how to use it? Hello, I'm Dr. Neil Goodman. I'm a pediatrician, adolescent medicine subspecialist with over 40 years in clinical practice. In our last video, we looked at what happens when your stress response gets stuck in overdrive, the cortisol flood, the sympathetic storm, the alarm that would not turn off. Today, we go in the other direction, because God didn't just design a threat response system, He designed the counterbalance, the recovery, the restoration. When you understand how it works, biologically, spiritually, and practically, your understanding of prayer, rest, breathing, and human connection will never be the same. This is the EarthSuit Chronicles, and we're talking about Chapter 10. In our last video, we talked about the sympathetic nervous system, flight or fight. Now, meet its counterpart, the parasympathetic nervous system. Scientists call it rest and digest. I call it God's recovery mode. When this system is active, your heart rate slows. Blood pressure drops, digestion comes back online. God's internal pharmacy shifts into restoration mode, releasing growth hormone, opening anti-inflammatory pathways, and producing the very compounds your cells need to repair what stress has worn down. Your brain shifts from scanning for threats to deep processing and creativity and consolidation. This is the state where healing happens, where wisdom settles in, where the peace that surpasses understanding can be actually received and not just believed. Now, the primary nerve of the parasympathetic nervous system is the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in your body. It runs from your brainstem through your heart, through your lungs, and your gut. It is the living communication highway between your brain and your body. And here is what should fill you with wonder. You can activate it intentionally through practices God embedded in the very rhythms He prescribed for human life. Prayer, breathing, stillness, gratitude, and genuine human connection. These are not merely spiritual disciplines. They are direct, physiologic interventions in your nervous system. God knew exactly what He was prescribing. Let me give you the science first, and let it point you where it always points. When you enter into genuine, focused prayer and meditation, measurable changes occur. Your prefrontal cortex, the seat of reason, compassion, and higher thought, becomes more active. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm center, also called the lizard brain, quiets down. Cortisol levels drop. Heart rate variability improves. Inflammatory markers decrease. These are not subjective impressions. These are objective, documented, physiologic events replicated in research laboratories around the world. Philippians 4:7 says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." Guard. That is an active word. That peace is doing something biological, something measurable, something protective. And breathing is its partner. Slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing, especially with a long exhale, longer than the inhale, is one of the most immediate ways to activate the vagus nerve. When you slow your breath down, you send a direct signal to your brainstem. The threat has passed. Stand down. Your heart rate drops. Your blood pressure lowers. The cortisol response begins to close. This isn't a relaxation technique someone invented. This is how God wired you. The psalmist said it clearly, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness isn't passive. It's a physiologic act of trust. There is another practice that science is only beginning to understand that ancient cultures never stopped doing. Grounding. Physical contact with the earth. What could be easier? Walking barefoot in the grass, standing in the sand, sitting against a tree, putting your feet in the ocean. Research shows that direct contact with the Earth's surface transfers electrons into your body, neutralizing free radicals, reducing inflammation, and calming the nervous system in ways that are measurable in laboratory settings. God said it at the beginning. You are dust. You came from the earth. And there appears to be something in your biology that still remembers that connection. And then there is this. Human beings were never designed to carry their stress alone. God placed a molecule in your internal pharmacy specifically for this purpose. Oxytocin, released through positive touch, genuine eye contact, and meaningful social interaction. It directly counteracts cortisol. It signals safety to your entire nervous system, lowering blood pressure and quieting of the perception of threat. A hormone designed not for survival, but for belonging. God said, "It is not good for man to be alone." That wasn't sentiment. That was a biological design specification. When you isolate, when you disconnect from genuine community and relationships, you deprive your nervous system of one of its most fundamental stress regulation tools. Connection is not comfort. Connection is medicine. Community is not optional. Community is healing. And belonging is biological. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. Some of the chronic stress you're carrying, you're choosing to let it in. The news cycle you check every hour, the social media scroll that activates your alarm response over and over again, the relationships that consistently leave you depleted, the environments that keep your nervous system in a constant state of low-grade alert. As I said before, your biology can't tell you the difference between a genuine threat and a toxic news story. It responds to both the same way, full alarm. At some point, stewardship of your EarthSuit requires an honest assessment of what you're allowing in, what you're feeding your nervous system every single day. God called his people to be in the world, not be consumed by it. That is not merely a spiritual instruction. It is a neurological necessity. The most countercultural thing that you can do in the modern world is rest. Actually stop. 1 day a week, intentionally, without guilt, without apology. Jesus said, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." God was not requesting a religious observance. He was pointing to a biological requirement embedded in your design. Modern research confirms what God prescribed millennia ago. People who observe regular weekly rest experience better physical health, sharper mental clarity, stronger immune function, greater creativity, and significantly higher resilience to stress. The creator of your nervous system, your EarthSuit, built recovery cycles into the rhythm of time itself. When we override that rhythm, we pay the price in our biology, our relationships, and our capacity to serve the purposes we were placed here for. Rest isn't weakness. Rest is faithful stewardship of the body God entrusted to you. I want to be honest with you. What we've covered today, the parasympathetic system, prayer, breathing, grounding, connection, removing of harmful influences, Sabbath, this is the entrance to the conversation, not the full picture. Inside the EarthSuit Chronicles, Chapter 10 goes much deeper into specific, practical, evidence-informed approaches to restoring what chronic stress has taken from you. I intentionally kept the solutions out of this video because, honestly, because of the depth of what's inside, the book deserves more than a summary. What I can tell you is this. The framework you'll find in these pages is not another wellness program. It's not a secular self-help system with a verse attached. It's a complete understanding of your body as what it actually is, a divinely designed EarthSuit, built for resilience, built for restoration, and built to respond to the voice of the Creator. The peace that surpasses understanding is not metaphor. It is a measurable physiologic state that God designed you to live in and not just visit occasionally. The question is whether you're ready to pursue it. The EarthSuit Chronicles is available now, and inside those pages you'll find not just information, but a framework for living the way you were actually designed to live. I'm Dr. Neil Goodman. God designed you for more than survival. He designed you for restoration. Let's go find it together.